Alright boys, Pokemon ZA was just announced to be released worldwide in 2025, and I have some thoughts on it. Today, I'm going to be breaking my thoughts into 3 different sections. The first section is going to be my thoughts on the reveal, what I think and what I'm disappointed or happy with that we didn't get. Then I'm going to talk about the misinformation we received because Pokemon did a lot of teasing towards some other generations that we'll talk about in just a second. And then finally, I'm going to talk about what I think the game could be. I'm a competitive Pokemon YouTuber, so take whatever I say with a grain of salt. I'm no expert at this stuff by any means, but I just want to get a video out there, man. Alright, so first and foremost, my thoughts on the reveal. If you missed it, I took the day off work and I did a live reaction stream that you can check out in the top right hand corner right now. And basically, I went in expecting Unova remakes. That's why I took the day off work. They're my favorite games of all time, so I wanted my reaction cemented in time as I saw my favorite games get remade so I could relive those awesome childhood memories I have in 3D. Unfortunately for me, they completely skipped my generation, they kicked it to the curb, and they said, hey, what if we just do your least favorite generation, but this time in a different format? Obviously, if you watch the reaction, I go non-verbal for a while. I go sit on my couch. I was not having a good time. Not because I think that this game is going to be bad. Let me get that out of the way right now. I do not think this game is going to be bad. Probably. I don't know. Wait, we'll talk about it. I did that because they completely just dismissed my favorite generation. For the time being, I do understand they could go back, but they dismissed what should be my favorite generation getting remade or getting a game of some sort. They kicked it to the curb. They said, hey man, let's remake your least favorite generation. And obviously this isn't like a specifically targeted thing and there are good and bad things to take out of it, but that was my initial reaction and that's why I had that initial reaction. After sitting on it for a little bit, my reaction stays kind of the same. I'm not super excited for these games. So the reason I don't like Kalos is my least favorite generation and I don't want to go back to it. I think the world was not fun, the level scaling was horrible in X and Y, there was no real good story that they really delved into, and I am aware that these games are, and I'm very open to the fact that these new Pokemon ZA games it's one game, could resolve a lot of my issues with X and Y and Kalos, the region as a whole. But I just don't want to go back to my least favorite region instead of my favorite region. Ultimately, that is what it boils down to, and that is why I am so disappointed. And I got some weird comments because I guess my stream got pushed into the algorithm the day after or 2 days after the fact that these games were revealed for whatever reason. I got some weird comments like this is the 10-year anniversary of X and Y. It's not. It's like year 11, year 12. It came out in 2013. That didn't make sense. That's not why they did X and Y remakes. I also got told it makes sense because, what did they say? It was like there was a 7-year gap from ORAS to BDSP, which is true. So I set my expectations incorrectly to have black and white remakes, which first of all, I'm glad that I hold so much rent in your head. I'm glad that I am able to have these people care about what I think so desperately that they have to judge my expectations. It's very funny. I like it a lot. But that's just not necessarily the case. Yeah, there was a big gap between ORAS and BDSP, but there was a 4-year gap between Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and ORAS. And do you know what the gap would be if it was released in 2025? You do the math, man. It'd be 4 years. It'd be 3 years and some change. So no, I don't think it was too early for Unova remakes, and we'll talk about it in a minute, there was a lot of teasing as far as Unova stuff goes, and even Johto stuff. But yeah, I am willing to get proven wrong. I'm willing for Kalos to be redeemed. I am not necessarily thinking that these games are going to do that because of what has been revealed. The fact that it's in Lumiose entirely is not my favorite thing in the world. To be honest with you, I've seen the comparisons, like GTA takes place in this world, but if you look at the map, the map is just so small for an entire game to be based in this. I'm very curious to see how they do it, and that does sour my opinion on how well this could turn out, in my opinion, because of just it being solely in Lumiose. We'll talk about that more in a minute though. One thing that I do want to talk about, I know I'm being this big grumpy guy, I hate Kalos, blah blah blah. I will say that there's not a single soul on this planet who's not excited for Mega Evolutions to be back. When that Mega Evolution symbol came up, there were just gasps across the world because everybody loves Mega Evolution. It's cool to see Game Freak actually listen and bring it back. Obviously, it's a fan favorite mechanic, and as a competitive player, I'm extremely excited. That is where my excitement currently ends though. However, it could be a nice change of pace having really low expectations for a Pokemon game and them being exceeded other than having, as opposed to normally having pretty high expectations and getting let down. I think I got pretty much everything I wanted to say out of the way. If you guys have any more questions of my opinion of things, feel free to let me know down below. But we're gonna move on to the misinformation of things, because the way things were conveyed is very interesting, and a lot of people think that they purposefully spread misinformation on the internet. My face when I purposefully spread misinformation on the internet, that meme, right? People think they did that on purpose to throw everybody off the tracks, which I don't think anybody would have ever guessed Pokemon ZA, but it is what it is. So they did a lot of different things. They tweeted Zekrom and Reshiram gifts out. They did a lot of Unova stuff. Obviously, Indigo Disc was really tied in with Unova, so a lot of people, myself included, were convinced that these next games were going to take place in Unova. In the same vein, they did a lot of Johto stuff. They did, what was it? It was Silver. They released him in Pokemon Masters EX earlier in the trailer even. They set the game on accident to Pokemon Gold and Silver on accident, right? They probably did it on purpose. And there was like music in a live stream waiting lobby. I don't know which one, because I was never able to find it, but it was Gold and Silver music. On top of that, I think there was Gold and Silver music primarily used in the stream, but I could be mistaken by that. I don't remember. It could have been just when they revealed Silver, and I could be misremembering. Totally, that's totally possible. So they spread all this misinformation, or they might have not, but people did. People think it might be them. I don't know how I feel about it. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. And then before the actual reveal, and even leading up into the reveal, they showed unknowns on the screen. So everybody thought, great, here's Pokemon Let's Go Johto, here's Pokemon, whatever the case may be. And then they revealed Kalos, and that was just the most unexpected thing that you could imagine. So it's interesting to see them throw everybody off the tracks. As far as all the misinformation, quote unquote, I do think maybe they're gonna reveal some Johto or Unova games sometime late this year, early next year, and maybe they just weren't ready to reveal them, possibly, because it doesn't make sense to throw that much misinformation unless this is like the new Pokemon meta, which would be really interesting to not know what's coming next. And maybe I'm here for that. I don't know. I am salty that Unova got skipped. It is what it is. Ultimately, I said it in my video, some people misinterpreted that I hate Johto. I don't hate Johto. I hate Let's Go. I think those games are horrible. If we got Legends Johto, that would have been fantastic. But if we got Let's Go Johto, I wouldn't have bought the game. That got misconstrued a little bit. I just despise Let's Go as a franchise, or whatever you want to call it. The Let's Go games, Eevee and Pikachu, was horrible. One of my least favorite games of all time. That bled over a little bit, but lastly, I want to talk about what my thoughts on the game are going to be. So first of all, Mega Evolution being back, fantastic. I don't want to address that too much because I am going to make a separate video talking about my thoughts on what potential Megas that come back could be, and not come back, but get introduced, because I do think there will be new Megas. I don't think they will miss on this opportunity. Probably, who knows with the Pokemon Company, right? But I don't think they will miss on this opportunity. If they bring Megas back, surely they will introduce some new ones. But as far as what the game could be right now, there's a lot of discussion as to whether it's set in the past or the future, because there are like past sketches as far as like the Lumiose buildings go, and then there was like HoloWare type things, Holo Gear, I don't remember what it's called in X and Y, the thing you used to call people. I specifically remember calling Tierno in Lumiose City prior. It looked like that. It looked very futuristic. So as far as what I think it's going to be set in the future. It says urban redevelopment plans if you rewatch the trailer, and yeah, it could be like old Lumiose and then they're redeveloping it because it's already been developed. Maybe that is definitely a possibility, but with all that like hollow stuff, I really have a hard time not seeing it be in the future. Another option is it could definitely be in both the past and the future. As far as actual gameplay, I actually have literally no idea what to expect, and this is the first time of that going into a Pokemon game. I don't know if it's going to have the Legends Arceus battle system, or they've classified it as a mainline game, so maybe they'll have the actual battle system and it'll be able to be used in like VGC competitions. You really gotta think about that. I have no idea. I don't know if they'll keep Scarlet and Violet as the main VGC type games, or if it's going to migrate over to this. I think either one makes a lot of sense, because what would be the point introducing these new Megas if they can't be used competitively, right? Like in the video game championships. So I do lean that they're going to be going back to more of a traditional Pokemon gameplay as far as like the battles go because of that, but we'll see exactly how they go with that. As far as the city itself, I really dislike that it's just in Lumiose. Like I said, I know GTA gets away with it being in just one city. I don't think Pokemon can do that very well. At least my expectations are very low for that. So if they do it well, it'll blow me out of the water. I don't think that it'll be that interesting though, all taking place in one city. Like, we've been in Lumiose, we know how big it is, and I don't think that you could make a whole, I don't know, 12-15 hour gameplay loop in this giant city that's not really as big. But I will say, the old Lumiose map and the new Lumiose map do look vastly different, and the new Lumiose map, I'm looking at it right now, does look a lot bigger, but I still have a hard time seeing this be like a whole game. This does not look like a whole game's worth of buildings and interesting things. It looks like if it is just in Lumiose and there's no like underground, there's no like big boss battles in like parks or something. I'm not sure. I lost my train of thought, but ultimately I do not I'm not excited. I'm not excited for these games, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe my expectations being low will lead to them being blown out the water. Who knows? But I don't like Kalos, but I'm very open to the fact that this could change my mind. Maybe this could make me like Kalos and be a good game. I don't think being set in Lumiose is going to be great. But those are my initial thoughts. I guess I could make a more in-depth video at a later date once we get some more information, if you guys want me to. Thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you to Sunny for editing this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And for now, guys, this has been Jonah Jr. signing off.